Okay, excellent. I'd like to start off with a question for everyone. Um, and that is perhaps by a show of hands, how many of you have heard of Canva before or maybe have used it themselves? Now, I admit I can't see you very well. Oh, I see a few hands. Very good. Okay, excellent. So hopefully, even though you've either heard of it or have used the software or the application before, um, you'll still have an opportunity to learn about some of the features that it has to offer, and you can apply them in your own work, whether it's using presentation slides or developing promotional material for anything that you might need. Okay. Here's a neat feature. I just wanted to show this off. Okay, well, there we are. We're off to a good start. So, okay, what we'll be talking about today, just a brief intro, as well as really going through the essentials of what Canva is all about. We'll look at some of the resources that you have you have access to, and we'll go over a bit of a demonstration that will actually walk you through what Canva looks like and how to create a little Facebook ad. And we'll go over any questions you might have towards the end of the presentation. And so I'd like to start with a bit of an interactive exercise, and I would ask my assistant, Nancy, to help me with that for anyone who's raising their hands, potentially. So we have this picture here. How would you critique this ad? Basically, what do you like or don't you like about it? Any comments? Okay, yes. This is, I'm sorry, I don't know everyone's names.
Elizabeth?
Lady with the blonde hair. Oh, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, when I'm looking at it, it looks like the image is cut off, top, bottom, and both, and one side for sure. So that takes away from it for me.
Yes, you're right. It is distracting, isn't it? Okay, Sasha.
I also feel like the spacing is not being respected. So the logo is being cut, which is a very important piece. And the margins on the left and on the top are also not being respected. So visually, it looks very crowded.
Okay. And we have Rosa. Rosa? Oh, I think you're on mute. Sorry.
Thank you. I also noted that it's harder to read the smaller print, and there seems to be a lot, like the top part, the header is very big. It's hard to read all the small print because of the font as well.
Yes, kind of blends in with the background, right? Thierry, you had a comment?
Yes, about the color on the characters. It's too light, so it's difficult to be read.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And what do you think about the picture?
Yes.
I'd like to see someone who hasn't participated yet.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Nadia Lee, would you like to comment on the picture? No? Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't have your name. Oh, Myra. Myra. Do you
I
have
think
any...
that, yes, I think that the picture, it seems very formal.
Mhm.
Like maybe it can be like an image that can be more fun, that represents something more dynamic, because that is like very, I don't know, it feels like very, very serious.
It's like you're in trouble, right?
Yeah.
So good. Okay, what about Lucy? Any thoughts? No? D, do you have any comment?
Yeah, she looks very serious, and again, things look cut off. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, well, you all are correct in pointing out all of these irregularities with the picture. So overall, it's basically really not impactful. It doesn't create the desire to learn more about what this is all about. And imagine scrolling through a Facebook feed of pictures. Most likely, you'll just scroll past it and you won't even um, look at it. So essentially, it doesn't really um, do the job very well. So here we are. The photo, the content, and the logo are all elements that aren't well done. So as part of the Toastmasters branding, we can't have the logo cut off like this. And as you mentioned as well, there's a lot of clutter with the text. And because typically when we put the picture in it, in a Facebook post, the logo is already somewhere else on that page. So you don't need to duplicate the logo. And you really want to keep the text short, concise, to the point. Um, and but we'll talk about more. We'll talk about that more shortly. So keep this picture in mind when we discuss how to do it well as a contrast. So the essentials, really, if you boil it down, come down to selecting an image that you want to use, also being cognizant of the focal point, so where it's focusing, what it's focusing on, and where. The text itself, so as we saw, like this was too much text and it was too tiny in white, and it didn't really go well with the other colors in the background. And then actually, where you want to publish that information and what kind of, and how to do that. There's different ways that you can do that to make it easier for you. And so let's look at the image in initially. So you want to make sure that it's relevant to what you are discussing. So in this case, Toastmasters, it's about connecting with people and having a positive experience, having a fun meeting, and learning from that experience. Because you are targeting other people, so you want to encourage other people to sign up and join your club, you really want to have an image of at least one person, because then that image speaks to the individual who is considering joining your club. And you want to make sure that the picture is good quality, so it's not blurry or too pixelated. So there's different resolutions that you can use to do that. So these are just considerations when you select your images that you're going to use. Okay, so next, the focal point. So this is actually a little bit of theory that relates to the golden rule. And so it's based on a survey that that looked at where people look at, where's the first place that people look at on a picture. And it turns out that 41% out of, obviously 41 people out of 100 look in this quadrant, or in this section. So really the top left corner, 20% respectively, 14 here and 25. So consider this whenever you are adjusting the picture to make sure that you want, whether it's a picture or text, that you kind of place it accordingly so that you can perhaps gain the most impact from that information. People will see that first and react to it and kind of make a snap decision in terms of whether or not to continue reading or clicking on the link that you have displayed. So just some psychology, if you will, to be aware of. And we'll look at that in our demonstration later on. And the text, as we saw in the example, was too much. so really people stop reading. You want to make sure that it's fairly to the point, that it catches people's attention. You know, when you're scrolling through the Facebook feed of information, right, you want it to be something that'll grab people's attention. And then of course that it motivates them to do something, whether it's to join or to register or to um, whatever it might be. You want to have that call to action in the text that you select. And then finally, when you go to publish it, of course, there's so many different kinds of social media options that you can choose from, and it's also a good best practice to use the scheduling feature, whether it's on Canva, which is there, but also Facebook, and pretty much all of the publications, or I should say social media, have that ability to do that. And I wanted to mention as well, there's a website called buffer.com. So this is where actually there's a couple of different social media platforms that you can have on there. I believe it's at the very least LinkedIn, Facebook, and I believe Twitter. So you can schedule posts on there, and that way it's essentially a digital marketing strategy that way. And it'll make it more efficient for you rather than logging into multiple accounts. You can really plan out the material and the content that you'd like to share that way throughout the year. So that relates to really the essentials of what makes up an ad. And here, this is what Canva looks like actually when you log in. And I'm just going to pause it for a second because I wanted to highlight some of the things that you can do with it. So you can have presentations, social media, as we mentioned. You can create little videos, even printing products, other marketing materials, infographics, photo collages, desktop wallpaper, pretty much anything you can think of, you can do that here. And so it's very very helpful. And at the end of the day, the output or the final product is very professionally looking. This presentation itself was also created with Canva. So just, another example of what you can do. So let's keep going. So here we're pointing out again what kind of features exist so that that you can become familiar with it. There's also the different functions. So here you can access all of your designs, the files that have been shared with you, the brand manual, so Toastmasters in this case, and you can have different folders for different people, various templates. You can have there's tutorials as well that you can access. So really, there's a lot of really valuable and useful information that you can access. So here again, depending on what you want to create, you can select it from this section if you'd like. So in this case, we are choosing to create a Facebook post. So you can simply type it in that section. And so this is what it looks like. So here you have the option to either upload a picture or to use the ones available there. I'm just going to pause this for a second. So there's also like a library of photos you can use. There's different types of fonts for the text. You can even embed music in the document that you're creating. You can have little videos, play around with the background. So it's really, sorry, it started. Okay. So it's really all there for you to make it easier for you to use. Right. There's also, so this is the free version that we're looking at. If you wanted to access additional features, there's also the Pro version, which allows you to have more options, but really you don't need to do it because a lot of what is available you can do for free. But nonetheless, I mean, if you use it all the time, if you end up using it all the time, you may want to consider doing that. But it's a personal choice. So back to the Facebook ad, we talked about the elements on the side, photos, text, audio, video, etc. So now if we want to look for a photo, here you can search for the theme of what you're looking to find, or alternatively, you can upload your own picture. So in this case, this picture was taken from Unsplash, which is a website that also has a number of pictures you can, it's a database of pictures you can access. And so you can do it that way too, if you feel that the pictures that are available here are somewhat limited based on what you're looking for. So with the Facebook ad, as we mentioned, you don't necessarily need to have the Toastmasters logo there. You can just simply have a picture that takes up the majority of the space. It may be best actually to move it a little bit further higher up and to the left. And then you can add some text to it that would sort of go along with the image that you want to share and the message that you want to portray. And a lot of the use of Canva, I find, is trial and error. It's a little bit finicky at times, as you'll see in the demonstration. But other than that, I find it's really easy to work with, and I use it a lot for presentations and little videos. So we do actually have some examples later in the presentation, and I find, yeah, that it looks really good once it's done. But again, you may want to kind of try out different things and to see what works best as you create your materials. Really, as you can see, we can create a little ad in 5 minutes or less. So it's really user-friendly, and it just looks really professional at the end. So here again, we're contrasting this to the previous picture that we looked at, and we don't have that text that is hard to read or is too much. And the picture says it all. It speaks 1,000 words. Of course, here you can do different things. There's all kinds of effects that you can have for the text to make it really stand out. You can even animate it, which is pretty cool. That's my favorite feature. In this example, I only had the text animated, but you could actually also animate the picture too. But this is just one display of all the things you could possibly consider using this this application for, and just to be aware of the different features and to showcase that it's very easy to use and it's really fun. So here again, like it helps you to align different things, to change the transparency, to copy the link. When you copy the link, you can send it to different people, so you can actually have multiple people working on the same file. So it makes it easier for collaborative work. And this here, you can see the delineation of the quadrants that I was referring to earlier. So it does it for you in a way. And once you're ready to publish to Facebook, you can actually link up your Facebook account, for example, to Canva, again, for ease of publishing. And you can make your selection if you like. You can also share or even download the content into different formats. So it could be a JPEG, PDF, depending on if it's a video or not. Because there's some animation here, you can save it as video, and then it'll download to your desktop. And then of course you want to save it and name your posting, well, picture or publication. You can also resize it over here, which is interesting because let's say Eventbrite, it requires a certain specific resizing of the picture rather than having to do that manually. So that's another neat feature here. We have, Facebook. Oh, this is the copying the link that I was referring to, and you can just simply send it to others. Yeah, you can post it to Slack or other social media. So that essentially is it. Just to show you again that it is really straightforward, but you can play around with it for hours. And yeah. Okay, so that was the demonstration. So the website to jot down is canva.com. You can easily create your account there and start using it whenever you'd like. And a couple of other resources to share. So I mentioned earlier, if you find that some of the pictures that are available within Canva are not to your liking, you can access some of these other websites where they have a database of pictures that you can download for free and you can upload into Canva. So just something to be aware of. And right, so when you create any kind of Toastmasters marketing material, it's very important that you're aware of the Toastmasters branding policies, and that is illustrated in the Toastmasters branding manual. So I would encourage you to visit that resource as well. And those are the links for that, with the PDF documents there listed. And here are a couple of examples. So you can create logos as well as posters, for example. These are all done with Canva. So in this case here, I uploaded the picture, and here it was part of their stock of pictures. And again, I used their existing fonts that they have. Here I used some other effects that they had. So, as you use it, you'll kind of get a feel for the different elements there. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so this is a little video as well. Yeah, one of my favorites, I have to admit. And all right, well, so this is really the recap of what Canva can do for you. And I'd like to open it up for some questions. Any comments at all? Were you surprised by any of these features? Were you already aware of them? And I see a hand up here. Elizabeth.
Yeah, could you go back to the slide where you had the photos database sites listed, please?
Oh, absolutely, yes. Specifically the database.
Previous one.
This one here.
That one, thank you.
There. Thierry, you had a question too?
Yes, of course. Do you have a shared folder for images on District 61? Because I know on Canvas there are some images, but I would like some more without paying for my club. Is that possible?
Shared images. Yeah, so you're right, Toastmasters does have some. But for District 69, I don't know. I will inquire.
61, District 61.
I will double check and maybe get back to you. Do we have your email? We probably do, right?
Yes, I use it on Eventbrite.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah, I apologize. I don't know.
And I have, okay, I have another question. I let
Yeah.
people ask before me. I'll be
Right.
back.
Right. Okay. Great. Do we have any other questions or comments at all? Did you like the presentation?
Just a quick comment I have.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Sanjeev. Hi.
Hi. Sorry, a few minutes late. Actually, is Terry's looking for like a Toastmasters pictures or just some other pictures?
Sorry, would you
Any
mind-
kind of picture. Because I know on Toastmasters, there are some images on toastmasters.org,
Yes.
images or something. I don't remember exactly, but something specific to the District 61. I see sometimes images, very beautiful images on the posters made by public relation on the District 61. So I would like to know if it's possible to share it on different clubs.
Okay. Actually, why not just contact the PRM directly? The email
that's
is
a good
available
idea.
on the district website.
Well,
Excellent idea. Yes.
actually, he is here in
Yes,
the
I
room.
see him.
Here, he's
Maybe
here. That's right. Daniel is here. That's right.
we
Yeah,
can
what you
ask
see on
him.
the screen, the last link there is actually pictures of meetings from other districts. So you can use them for your promotion. In District 61, we don't have an image bank of any kind.
Maybe something to consider.
Also,
Sure, in person it would be great.
Yes,
When
it
we come
would be
back in
much
person.
easier.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Danielle, for answering that question. Do we have any other comments or questions at all?
Just a quick
Oh.
question.
Elizabeth? Yeah.
You showed on Canva, there's a brand portal kind of little button. How do we upload our pictures to that? It'll just say add, and then so first save them on our desktop and then add them,
So
like
you would,
like the Toastmaster brand stuff.
yeah. So you would go into that section, and then
Mhm.
yes, you can essentially upload. Is that right, Danielle? Is he still there? Yeah.
Sorry, can you repeat?
On the Canva, I think you can, like Nadia was showing us along the side, there's all these icons, and one of them was brand portal, I think, or something.
Yeah.
And you had Toastmaster logos already saved there. Like, how did you do that?
We should have to go to open it. Actually, I'm not sure we can display
okay.
right now because we don't have the pro account at the moment.
That's okay. Thank you.
So Rosa, it's actually 4 pro accounts for paid accounts.
Oh, okay.
Number one. And yeah, and you can upload it directly from once you have a pro account. It's just like uploading any file. So you just download it from the main district TI and then you can upload it.
So if we're using a free account, it wouldn't be available.
Correct.
We chose to display the free version in this workshop because
that's what I was
most of the
talking
club will just have the free version.
Can we upload from the TI brand page into our poster or whatever, Facebook posting without going through like without having to get the pro version of Canva? Can we do that?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you need so you don't need to have the pro version to be able to upload pictures.
Okay.
So when you go to create your design, so whether it's well, poster, for example, so you would just simply upload, and then let's just say, it's, you took, I don't know, you created this from somewhere else, but you uploaded it here, upload media, and then it will ask you to upload it from your computer or downloads or something like that, and you can then select it from here and apply it there. So
Okay, but if I say I copy or upload the TI logo from the TI brand page into my desktop, and then I take that file and put it onto my Facebook ad, am I violating any Toastmasters logo branding
no,
rules?
well, you're not, just as long as you don't, let's say, crop the image or the logo, right? So it has to adhere to Toastmaster branding rules in terms of how it's displayed and where and the coloring and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
but
So I
beyond-
can still do it as long as I follow the rules.
Yeah.
All right. That's what I needed to know. Thank you.
My pleasure. Any other questions? Oh, Sasha, yep.
Hello. My question is a little bit aligned with what was just discussed earlier, branding related, but mine is more aligned around colors. So when I am posting for our club, quite frankly, I've been going crazy with all different colors and different templates. I've been experimenting. However, are we to abide by the Toastmasters International colors like blue and rouge, whatever the colors are, or are we free to use whatever we want? And what would be your recommendation, actually?
Is that for the logo or around that logo, or just anywhere?
It's for any person. So say I'm saying, oh, like I'm part of Creativity Plus Toastmasters. So usually I would have Toastmasters International logo somewhere up there. And then the messaging and all the promotion would be for our club. So I'm not intending on doing anything with Toastmasters logo, but it would be just there on my piece of promotion. And
Right.
if I'm, throwing all possible colors like green and neon, and is that acceptable?
Well, I mean, I guess if I understand your question correctly, it's almost like saying, does this picture have the Toastmaster colors in it?
Yeah.
Not necessarily, right? So at the end of the day, I don't think so. Just as long as the logo has those particulars, then you're fine. But other than that, you don't need to specifically have those colors anywhere else.
And would you recommend, though, because I do know for social media influencers and people who are working in the social media, they carefully select their brand colors and they always stick to them, and every promotion has those colors. Would you recommend us also doing that?
Well, I mean,
professional.
You could if you wanted to, but you could have different campaigns so that are different.
Mine are very different.
You could have a different theme. I would say it's more around the messaging, but it's up to you.
All right. All
I
right.
have seen, I know what you mean. I have seen, let's say, within the pathways assignments, for instance, the panel discussion one, there's a little video in it, and part of the panel is in this Toastmaster blue color. So I know that they do use that throughout, but you're not obligated to in that way. That's my understanding.
Yeah. I looked at the branding manual. I just created a bunch of stuff for an open house, and it's unclear. At least I found it unclear.
Right.
Or the instructions, the rules, or whatever you want to call them in the branding manual seem to be contradictory in some portions of the manual. So I stuck with all of the Toastmasters branding colors, the blue and the maroon and whatever other colors there are on there, just to be safe. But I'm understanding from you that we don't necessarily need to do that.
Well, I'll interject as well, maybe.
Yeah, please.
I'll interject to give you two perspectives. So when you're doing Toastmasters has and you're using the logo, so you just need to understand that when you're using the logo for your information, for anything that you have to stick to their branding rules. Okay, so let's say you created a post for an open house where you're planning to use the Toastmasters logo or the Pathways logo. You must adhere to that, so you can actually get the branding guide, as Elizabeth said, from the Toastmasters International. You can get it from there. They have something called a brand portal. And secondly, so let's say you want to create something else. I think for that, you're creating a personal story for your club, so on and so forth. There you should be feel free. Just don't use the Toastmasters logo. Stick to your story, whatever theme that you're trying to go for. So that would be useful. You can use lots of colors in that, but just do not use that. Okay. All right. Hope that helps.
Lovely. Thank you, Isa. Thierry?
I have a question about licensed images versus non-licensed images. What do you think if I create a logo, not a logo, a poster for my club, a Toastmaster club? Should I use licensed images or unlicensed images?
By licensed, you mean, can you give me an example? Can you give me an example? Like, are you getting them from a particular location?
I browse on Google and I found a beautiful image of somebody, somebody with a baby, for example, or somebody speaking on the microphone to a crowd. So I say, oh, this image is perfect for my open house. I post it, I create a canvas, etc., and post it, and everybody see it on Twitter, Facebook, etc., etc. Can I be prosecuted for using an image of somebody who I see I search the image on the internet? This is my question, because it kind of licensed image.
Yeah, I see what you're
photographed by somebody else and posted on the internet. So I take it. So
yeah,
I use it on Toastmaster. Well, should I be prosecuted, or no, I'm free, it's free, so everybody is happy?
Well, I see Isa might have some clarification there. I don't believe you can.
So licensed photography means that you have to pay for a license. Okay. So as Nadia showed you, the Unsplash or the Pexels or all the other ones, those are free to use. So I would recommend that you stick to the free to use part and do not use license, because as soon as you use license, you will have to pay. So don't use somebody's pictures without permission. There are lots of places, and Canva, as Fran said too, has, but that's of course for paid accounts. So, but if you were creating something as beautiful stuff like Nadia showed, you can actually go to all of these sites to do that. So don't. Okay. Don't.
That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Do you think that as a result of this presentation, you're at least curious about, if you haven't already worked with Canva, that you want to try it out and see if it will help you. Yes, I see some nodding heads. That's wonderful. And for those that have used Canva before, have you learned something new that perhaps you weren't aware of? Yes, no? Okay. Well, every time I use it, I always learn something new. Yes, Thierry?
I use it, and I would like to memorize the different colors. There are some codes on Toastmaster brand booklet. How do you manage to get the different codes registered in your Canva? I see it on one of your presentation. Could you explain me how you manage to do it?
That wasn't me, but Danielle, can you save me?
Yeah, if you want to have them in your brand kit in Canva, you need the Pro account.
All right.
So unfortunately, if you're with the free version, you have just like I do, keep a post-it on the side of your monitor.
Okay.
And at some point, you'll just remember them: 774235.
Okay.
I do a lot of work with colors in PowerPoint and other applications, and if you go into the brand portal, I believe they have the three main colors, cyan, whatever the other ones are, with the numbers beside them. So you can actually find that information on the brand portal. And then all you need to do is go into whatever application you have. And if you have a place where you can select your colors, then you just type those numbers in for the three colors. And that'll give you the exact color that they have on the brand portal.
Yeah, I use the official colors a lot because I find they look good. Even if I'm not using the logo, I like the colors.
Yeah.
But if you can also just don't use the logo, don't use these colors.
Yeah.
And there's no obligation to use them, really.
But that you can set them yourself in other applications if you know what the numbers are. That's what I'm saying. Because if you go into PowerPoint, you have there, you go to more colors, and it allows you to select exactly how much blue, how much red, and how much whatever the other one is in that in that application, and then it comes out to the exact color that you're looking for.
Yeah. I do that in Google Slides.
Those are called the hex numbers. So you can actually get the hex numbers. So if you're looking for specific colors, do a search on hex numbers for Toastmasters colors and you will find them.
Sasha?
Yes, I respect what you have just said, but I wanted to clarify. When I'm thinking, for example, when we're at work, use the logos of our partner organizations, Government of Canada, this bank, you put them all at the bottom, but you're not obligated to use their colors in your piece of promotion. So if on behalf of our club, we're putting a piece of promotion, that's not necessarily for Toastmasters International, just initiative for our club, and Toastmasters International is just like that parent organization kind of thing. Why can't they just say be placed at the bottom, acknowledged as a partner, but just for us to continue using the colors we do want to use? Does it make sense?
Danielle?
Yes, there's no really an obligation to use the colors, but still Toastmasters ask that if you put the logo, the globe, or any Toastmasters Pathways logo, that you put it in front of one of the official colors, either the red, the official red, the official blue. There's a yellow and a gray.
I think, Sasha, you should look at the brand manual. It's at the brand portal. Just read it. And again, you know, it can go two ways. When we do TLI training for VPPRs, we show them where the brand manual is, but if you just did a simple search on the brand portal for TI, you'll find it, my dear.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Okay. I don't see any other hands up or comments in the chat. All right. So if there aren't any further comments or questions, you can always reach out to us in the PRM team. And if there's anything that you're not sure about, we will get the answer for you and help you out. So don't hesitate to connect with us. I'm also including a little survey link in the chat for everyone to quickly respond to if you have the opportunity to do so. We just want to make sure, essentially get some feedback on your thoughts about how we did today on the presentation. And so that essentially concludes the workshop for this evening. And I hope that you can apply the learning today to benefit your activities, your clubs, for yourself as well, personally, professionally, whatever the case may be, and that you can add some style to your promotions. So thank you so much for your time, and thank you for being here.
Thank
Enjoy the
you,
rest of the
Nadia.
evening.
Thank you, Nat.